Hello everyone, welcome to an all-new segment of Gaming Hour, and today I'm going to be discussing why I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is better than the MCU films. So, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is quite an interesting game, to say the least. You know, people didn't have high expectations for it. In many ways, it's almost like the film itself. But despite all the good the film did, it did deviate from the comics. And I have to say, as a fan of Marvel Comics, this video game is much closer to the source material, while also still borrowing elements from the James Gunn movies. As a matter of fact, they took embellishments in the first film, which were not bad, until they doubled down on those embellishments in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. More specifically, with Peter Quill's character, Chris Pratt's personality, and how they handled the humor with Drax's character. Those two in particular are very different from the video game and comic incarnations. To preface, I was actually excited for this, and I enjoyed Avengers. That's going to be heresy to some. That was a bad game to many. Despite the mechanics, I really love the story of Marvel's Avengers on the PS4. I think it is a highly underrated video game. And when I heard that they're going to ditch the microtransactions and online play and just have a story, I was very excited. And I'm a little biased because I love the 80s, and my favorite song is Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. It's featured here, as well as I Ran by Flock of Seagulls, White Wedding by Billy Idol. You have Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. This game is just fun, and I can't remember the last time I played a game that not only had a fantastic narrative, but that was just fun and relaxing to play through. Even in its challenging parts, this was a relaxing game to play. And overall, I think it has an excellent story where the stakes are high and it doesn't feel like it's dumbed down with crude humor made for kids. Like, no, this feels something like Star Wars. It feels epic. I wish the movies got this epic. I love Star-Lord in this. He's not an idiot, to say the least. He does do stupid things, but he's not a complete and total idiot like Chris Pratt's Star-Lord. Like, the way Peter Quill's written in the movies is just a total dumbass compared to this one, who has his heart in the right place, but is somewhat of a competent captain. You see why the Guardians rally around him. Even though he does stupid things, you could definitely see why they decide to support him. Rocket and Groot are pretty interchangeable in both versions. I love both versions. Matter of fact, I kind of like Bradley Cooper's Rocket just a little bit more, but they're both the same, and you actually get to see hear what Rocket goes through, and it's heartbreaking. You get to see more of their history. Gamora, Zoe Saldana, no offense to her, but Gamora is much better written in this video game. She's a stronger character. There's not that romantic relationship between Peter Quill and Gamora that they have in the movies and in the more recent comics. Drax actually killed Thanos. You could never imagine Dave Bautista doing that. Maybe there was a hint of it when he was talking about his family in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but wow. You also have other characters. You have Cosmo. Adam Warlock is just awesome in this. You get to see more of Nova Corps. They're done much better as well. And this church that they fight against, many plot twists and revelations. Peter Quill's mother doesn't go through cancer. Instead, he is basically taken by the Chitauri army, and she is murdered right in front of him as he's abducted. So him and Yondu meet in a prison. It's not like Yondu took him for Ego. No. Ego's not his father. It's more like the comics where his father is royalty. He is royalty from another planet. It's cool that they give you different choices to kind of alter just a little bit of the story. It's not completely like a choose your own adventure like Detroit Become Human or Life is Strange, but it does differ enough to have different outcomes and different scenarios. And above all, it does have the same ending. It's an epic ending, and just when you think it ends, it keeps going. And the use of the final countdown by Europe is just amazing, to say the least. The costumes, they have many of the costumes from the comics, as well as the 2014 film. Mantis, you get to see more into her inside and power as well. Fing Fang Foom makes an appearance. It's just that rich into the Marvel lore, into the Guardians of the Galaxy lore. I think this is better than the movies. It might be heresy to some. you can say no wrong about the MCU, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This was better than both of the Guardians of the Galaxy films combined, and it reflected more of the early comics. There may be some people who disagree with me. That's okay. Others who agree, let me know what you think. But that's just my personal opinion. And the films are good for what they are, but this just shows you that Guardians of the Galaxy can be so much more, you know? It's just awesome, and the way the mechanics are flow very well. It's almost like, imagine the game Control, but if it wasn't like tedious to play through, you know? Each Guardian in the game has a purpose. They're not just there as like non-playable characters. They're not NPCs that just tag along with you. Like, no, there's a purpose for each and every one of them, and each one has a special move. This was a blast from start to finish. I give it a 5 out of 5 and an A+. It's no wonder it won Best Narrative at the 2021 Game Awards. But yeah, those are just my brief thoughts on it and why I think it is better than the movies with the characters. So feel free, again, down in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. Let me know down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy? Have you played it? Let me know what your favorite Guardians of the Galaxy character is. I love all of them. Rocket and Groot will always be my favorite, but Star-Lord in this video game, I really, really love Star-Lord. Like, I'm like, this is a Star-Lord we should have in the movies. Like, this Star-Lord would not dare take off the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos' hand if the world was coming to an end. Like, no, this Star-Lord would, like, sacrifice himself when shit gets heavy, you know? And I love this character and what they did with him. It's nice to see a story that does have humor, but is not dumbed down with cookie-cutter jokes meant for kids, and it's just juvenile. Like, these characters, while miscasts, are still competent characters. And that's something that the movies are kind of lacking lately. But hopefully they'll do the Guardians and Adam Warlock justice in the third film. But if not, we'll always have the comics, and we always have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.